Hello, Aquarius the Water Bearer. Here's your weekly horoscope for February 28th until March 6th, 2021. Okay, well, we still have a few planets in Aquarius, and one of those is Mercury conjuncting Jupiter in Aquarius. So let's start with the good news because that's what it represents. All week we have this Mercury-Jupiter conjunction, and that's a great aspect. In general, Mercury is the planet of trade and commerce, and Jupiter is the planet of beneficial opportunities, gifts, sometimes wealth. So when those two get together, it usually is a lot of good news. Now, Aquarius, you tend to be pretty balanced. You tend to not be over optimistic. You tend to not be overly pessimistic either. You're an air sign. I mean, yeah, sometimes, you can get stressed out. You're a fixed sign. But with Mercury conjunct Jupiter all week, what I like about that is you probably feel a lot more positive. Let's put it this way, you feel more about expressing your more positive thoughts and feelings, and that's a good thing. Feelings maybe not so much. Mercury is not feelings, it is just ideas and communication. But you're more communicative this week and in a good way. It could be that whether it is in your work or within your personal life, it's just time to talk about some things, perhaps resolve any issues that may have come up, or just to talk about happier plans and desires and hopes for the future that you're looking to make in your life. All in all, I like Mercury coming together with Jupiter because it usually does bring good news, opportunity, and sometimes money. However, there is a negative side to it. Mercury is also the trickster of the zodiac, and Jupiter is a little overblown at times. So sometimes our optimism is just a little too overblown. Now, in the sign of Aquarius, not so much. Believe me, there's other signs that, oh yeah, they can just go a little too far. Aquarius tends to be more level-headed about those things. So I interpret this for you as being a much more positive aspect in your sign than it might be in other signs. So I think there's much more of a chance of the good news to come about, as I've talked about, and not the bad. But do keep in mind, Mercury conjunct Jupiter tends to have us spend more money than we want to on something. Sometimes the need for a major purchase comes up at this time, and that's okay. So if you're house hunting, car shopping, furniture shopping, yeah, they cost a lot more money, but in general, the money will probably be there for you to make the purchase, and it might be necessary. Now, if, the stove or washing machine broke down and you didn't really have the money around for that, because let's face it, the last year has been really rough on a lot of people financially. Sometimes this is an aspect of utilizing credit or taking a loan. Makes sense when you're buying a house. Most people just don't have $500,000 sitting around to buy a house. So yes, mortgages and loans are part of what might be necessary with the Mercury Jupiter as well. The only thing is, just try not to spend more than your budget. So for example, if you were pre-approved for a certain amount to buy a house with a mortgage, then stick to that. Try not to go overboard. If you know that you would need a loan for a car and they only want to give you $25,000, well, then don't be buying that luxury car. That's about it. I mean, I'm not sure exactly how that might turn out for you because everyone's horoscope is unique, but I've tried to give you some guidelines that hopefully will make you think. In general, though, it is a good aspect, and hopefully that's how it turns out for you. Now, we have a few planets in Pisces, which put them in an area of finances for you as well. But it's Venus, and Venus is the minor benefic, so like Jupiter, can be very positive in regards to finances. And we have the Sun in Pisces there as well. Whenever the Sun travels through a house, like your money house, it puts focus on it. So at this time of year, people are dealing with RSPs, investments, taxation. So it could be just run-of-the-mill type accounting and finances that you're dealing with this week. And that's fine. Do it and get it done because it's a great week for it. Neptune in Pisces is a little bit more tricky. It rules the sign of Pisces. I'm not so big on Neptune being positive in the second house unless you're working in the health or spiritual or artistic care fields. Then Neptune can be helpful. But in general, if you're not working in those areas, Neptune in the second house can be a little bit tricky. So for example, if you are buying a large purchase like a house, a car, furniture, check underneath, check under the hood, have a house appraiser check out that house, because Neptune can sometimes hide some problems that only come up later on, and you don't want to have to deal with that. With Mars in the very last few degrees of Taurus, the good news for that is it is going to be going in the sign of Gemini, which shifts the focus off of real estate, property, home, and family, and more into an area that astrologers call the fun house. So there is the potential for you to begin to be having a lot more fun as we're getting closer to spring. And Mars in Gemini is a little bit funky. It can be a planetary placement that tends to indicate people being flippant and sarcastic and even argumentative sometimes. But you're not usually one to be drawn into arguments and things like that. So instead for you, what it probably does is it really fires up your drive and ambition to, one, have fun, or if you are an artist, as so many Aquarians are in one way or another, it's a real push for you to be inspired and be motivated and to really look at what you can do to have a lot of fun and to manifest some of your more interesting qualities. And as we know, Aquarius has a lot of interesting qualities about them that, well, you're the oddball of the zodiac for a reason. So if you have a crazy idea to start some new art form or to change up your relationships in a fun way, this is the week to do it as Mars moves into Gemini on Thursday, at least towards the end of the week. Aquarius, I hope you have a great week ahead and that only positive things happen for you. So good luck.